The ego battle when both partners need to be right. Mixed signals and emotional manipulation. The nice guy trap and why it doesn't work. When he stays out too late, the whole family pays the price. Financial infidelity, the betrayal that nobody talks about in marriage, guys. The number one relationship hack. You can't fix people with love. The ego battle when both partners need to be right. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys, where we are real, raw, uncensored, and anointed.
Prayer five.
All right, guys, this is gonna hurt some of you. And that's gonna...
Because we're right, not you.
It's gonna bruise your ego, okay? I wanted to take a minute to talk about this because I think a lot of times we don't talk enough about pride, about ego, and the need to be right. I remember one time, and this is the depths of hell portion of our marriage. I remember...
When he was actually wrong.
When I was clearly wrong, but you know, I was doing things like in the last episode I mentioned, like if you're talking to the wrong people, okay? And I was talking to a client at the gym and opening up a little bit. And I was frustrated and I was angry. And this would have been actually a good example of somebody who did something right. She just looked at me and she said, well, do you love Kathryn or do you need to be right?
Do you want to be right or do you want to be married?
That's actually what she said. Thank you. Yeah. And it was solid, especially if you know
who it was. I do know who it was.
Yeah. It surprised me.
One piece of wisdom for her lifetime.
Well, I don't know if she's got more, but it was powerful. But at the time, it really bruised my ego. But it was also very motivating. Okay, I think that what you have to understand is if you can imagine the last time you got into a disagreement, an argument, or a full-on fight. Okay, I can't tell you how many people we talk to every single day. It's almost always the same thing. When we are talking about that last argument or the things that are preventing you from reaching those goals, the marriage that you want, right? It always goes back to, and by the way, even if you're not like in the big fight, the rageful thing, it's just like a casual, we'll say communication, not conversation, okay? You're trying to talk about the issues. And man, we pull out defensiveness out of every single person, okay? And this is where you need to start because it's actually not about your ego and your pride in the beginning. It is when you get hurt and you take it personal and then you get a little bit defensive. So we heighten. So even if you're nice about it, right? And you end up saying, baby, I just really wanted you to feel like you had some free time. That's why I did the dishes. You immediately are defending yourself. Right? You might have had the best intentions, which if you know anything about what I teach, you know you mostly do chores because you want to get laid. But anyway, like...
Wait, did all of you know that men do chores, yes, because they want to get laid, but they do chores to free up your time so that you have time to have sex later? Did you ladies know that this is the thing that men do? Mind blown when I learned that. I learned that a couple of years ago, but we talked about it at the event and I was like, I know that they do it to get in like the good books. I didn't realize that they were strategically making more time in the day.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Everybody at the event was like, oh, guys are like,
oh shit.
Yeah. So everybody meaning girls like, yeah, guys going, oh. And when the girls were going, yep, they were like, it was surprise. And then, oh my God.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. And I like to see that one guy that was local that I know. And he just like,
dropped his head.
He dropped his head and he did that like the whole event. He's like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, I know you didn't read my book, dude. I gave it to you. Accepting Divorce, Amazon. But I gave you a copy and you didn't read it because your mind was blown.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what you have to understand is the moment you start to get defensive, now you're starting to protect your ego, but you don't really know. And this is why I say that. I'm giving you some credit because I know that a lot of you men and women are coming at it with the best intentions, meaning you don't mean to be defensive. You mean to explain so that you can connect, so that you stop the disconnect, okay? I think it goes deeper. If you go back to last episode about identity, well, we didn't get to this part. And what it is like, if you can understand, your identity is tethered to your partner. And so you're worried about how they view you. Okay, so let's stick to the same example. Okay, and then I'll go to another one. So, no, baby, I just wanted to help you make sure that you didn't have all the burden of the chores today. Okay, you are defending yourself,
especially because you said no, baby. That's how you started it.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah. So
seriously, no. I did it because what?
Yeah. You have to just acknowledge the fact that you're trying to not be disapproved of, or you want to get approval by that explanation.
Also, you need to acknowledge that if you don't tell her, if you decide not to tell her, she might not notice because there's so much other things, so much other shit going on.
Yeah.
That's why you tell her, because you want some sort of affirmation. Like you want gratitude.
To be noticed.
So that means that it's transactional. You're not actually doing it to help her. You're doing it to tell her that you did a good job so that you get something out of it.
Yeah, it's okay to think about something like that using the same example. Like, I want her to have more time, feel less weight of the household on her, so I'm going to do a bunch of these chores, right? It's when you defend yourself or when you go out of your way to get noticed for it. Hey, baby, by the way, I did X, Y, Z. Just do the fucking dishes, man. Just stop stepping over sippy cups and pick up the fucking toys, or work with the children and do that too. Like, you don't need, she'll notice if she notices. If she's so overburdened by it, she just might not even be grateful. She might be like, fuck, finally. And so that's when you usually talk, and that's usually when you want to explain, and then that's usually when she says, what the fuck? And then that's when you want to defend yourself. So again, you don't even realize that you're trying to protect your own ego or identity, okay? But you're starting the whole problem, okay? Now, I'll use another example. Let's say let's use a worse example, okay? It's like you make a move on your wife, and then all of a sudden, she's like, oh my God, this happened on a phone call yesterday with a guy, and he's like, she said, oh my God, I'm not your fucking sex slave. I haven't heard sex slave in a while. It's always like sex doll, sex toy. I'm not your fucking sex slave. And he just wanted to cuddle her. So he's like, guys get on the phone with me, they don't just want to fuck their wife. It's like they're missing so much more, okay? They want all of these things that you want: emotional connection, intimacy on all other levels, cuddle, Kathryn's always holding me here. Like, they want that, okay? The way that Kathryn looks at me, etc., okay? But that's not what they've shown for so long. And because that's how they feel, they want more than sex, they get defensive, right? They don't want her to disapprove and think that's that's all he wants. So what do they say? No, that's not true, baby. I just really wanted to just cuddle you. Yeah. No, I don't even care about, this guy said, I don't even care about sex. I mean, that's the last thing on my mind.
Yeah, right.
First
you don't
of
have
all,
to lie.
No, well, a lot of these guys don't. It's not a huge portion. They want the checkered flag, but it's just not the priority, But I think a lot
bullshit.
of
it's the last thing on my mind. I do not believe.
Well, it's true. The only thing is, a lot of it is what they're trying to tell themselves, which is protecting their ego. Where's the authenticity? Where's the integrity? Yeah, baby, I fucking want you bad, but actually I want to cuddle you right now. What's wrong with that, right? It's different than saying, no, baby, I just want to cuddle you right now. I don't want, see, one is scared and defensive. One is trying to protect himself, and one is like, yeah, baby, I want you. Like, why would you lie, right? Now we can add in the next part. And will that still sound defensive? Well, fuck, it depends how defensive you've been all the time. If Kathryn and I go through an exchange like that, well, that's a bad example.
Because I am his sex slave. Also the local comedian.
Just keep watching and come to the mastermind in February, because it's fun. All right. My point is, Kathryn doesn't take it as defensiveness. We are talking and having conversation now, because we're past that stage. But here's why. Because these situations, the dishes, the chores, whatever, the sex stuff, whatever, all of it, when you start to protect your ego and you start to try to prove yourself, you go to the next level. And we're going to talk about scorekeeping coming up in one of the future episodes here. But you start to throw out all the reasons why you're so great. That's defensiveness, okay? Defensiveness goes a step further into blaming and criticism, okay? Which is when you start talking about all the things that they're not doing right, okay? That then really is trying to build your ego, improve your worth, and trash them. I say that I used to destroy Kathryn to build myself up. In other words, I used to blame and criticize her, to attack her as a wife, a mother, and a mom, right?
A wife, a mother, and a mom.
Well, because she's such a good mama and a woman, okay? That I would have to tear her down in order to make myself feel better. In essence, lift my own ego to prove something, not even to her. That's what you think when you start with defensiveness. It's really to prove something to yourself, okay? And this is why it builds and turns into shutting down, stonewalling, or ultimately resentment and contempt, okay? The contempt bleeds out, even if it's just bitterness and resentment. We're not at the extreme level, because you literally are so focused on who you are, trying to be right. Now, here's the nasty part. When you're both there, right? I talked to another guy this week who was like, I always try to figure out where they start. I don't know what you do in the call. I'm like, so where are we starting? Are you enemies? Are you frenemies? Are you roommates? And sometimes I have to explain that, right? And this guy was like, fuck, man, it is like bitter fucking enemies. And the problem is you both want to be right. You both do all that soft defensiveness in an extremely aggressive way. It's no longer soft. It's all about proving something to yourselves, whether you're looking for an apology and fucking blame so you don't have to, you just don't like how you feel. Your ego is in the way of what you're trying to get. Go back a few episodes when I said, I'll feel better tomorrow. When you love your partner again. How many of you guys have highs and lows? And you're like, man, if you could
Everybody does. It's just that some people's are whack.
Yeah.
Everybody has highs and lows. Nobody's completely streamlined all the time.
Mm-hmm. If you can remember that when you're protecting you, especially for men, okay, when you're protecting you, defending yourself, you're not a protector. There goes your protector card, right? Every man says they're a protector. I don't really care if most of you guys are too out of shape to fucking protect your wife anyway. Fuck, criminals be bashing the shit out of you. Like, you can't even run after somebody who kidnaps your kid. Like, you're not a protector. And then you go show your wife that you can't protect her. And guys,
Emotionally.
Emotionally. That is the worst level of safety that you could compromise. Her emotional safety. And I'm not coming down on you like I was the worst.
It's okay. Worst. You can come down on them. They need to hear it.
Well, no, but what I mean is, I like to call you up, not out. You know, you do need to hear it. You do need to realize that every time that you need to be right, that you're wrong. Just like that. When you need to prove you're right, you're wrong. Because you're fucking married. You are one. And women, you're not off the hook. You want to talk about women?
I didn't know where you were going with it. You go ahead.
So women, you're not off the hook. Because although you might not supposed to be the protector, you were built to lift your husband. So every time you defend yourself, every time your contempt bleeds out.
It's supposed to be sacrificial, ladies. And when you're both sacrificing, it doesn't feel like you're losing anything. So when you can lift up your husband, it doesn't matter what he deserves, what you think he deserves. It's who were you created to be. So he might not be protecting you, but are you protecting his heart? Because we're called to do both. And it can't be, well, I'll do it when he does it. One of you has to step out in leadership and just, back to Nike.
You know,
just do it.
I want you to.
We're not getting paid by Nike, but Nike, if you're hearing this,
but Nike,
we
if you're
would like
hearing
it.
This.
Yeah, I wear Nike Metcons, women's size 7.
I just prefer endorsement checks. But all right, so the thing about this is really, really crucial, is because women might have been built to lift their husband, but men, they're not built to carry you. They're just not. And this is why, like, a man that joined the program this week was like, when I talked to him about this, I was like, dude, you got to process with us so you can go home and bring the green light home. Like, meaning the atmosphere, the safe container, all of these things, that allows her space to feel. At first, these negative feelings, the ego gets in the way, the contempt is still there, right? So then you start to connect, and it's totally different. Because here's the thing, it's not just about right now in this moment. Guys, stop thinking about managing your fucking moments. Think about the view from the top of the mountain, like from heaven. Okay, it's not always easy. You know, when we were dealing with immigration, right? That was very, very difficult and stressful for Kathryn. Okay, that doesn't mean she's out, but with the stress, the high stress, comes like, well, she needs a lot more of me carrying her right now, right? If I have got this goal which we did, we scaled the business 5 times in 4 months. If I have this goal to meet more couples, really get more out there so we can find you, we can help you, I feel stressed if I don't hit targets, right? Math doesn't lie. And so Kathryn would be there lifting me. You know, I can't tell you how important this is, because if you guys stop managing the moments and trying to be right and realize life will always get in the way. You have an expression in your program. You say, you're not living life in a vacuum. Life will always get in the way. So imagine it's sort of always an in and out, right? And we always talk about striving for the moon. Well, that's actually your line. Trying to be perfect, because you'll never be perfect, but at least you can try. Just think about doing your best and always being there for your partner, not defending you, defending where you want to go, the couple that you are, the boundaries that you surround your marriage with. Because those rules that you protect yourselves with, that's horseshit. What you need to do is come together and defend you guys, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, guys, speaking of that mastermind, February 13th, 14th, and 15th, 2026, OMG. I just got another news story, but I'm going to save it for the website, morrowmarriage.com/event. I have just about got my team just
/event now?
Didn't know that
it was
we did?
/anniversary last time.
Anniversary. My apologies.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That page is almost done, so you guys can start to get yourselves planning and getting down to Texas here in between San Antonio and San Antonio and Austin. And guys, we are going to level you up. If you love this podcast, I cannot wait to meet you, because that's what everybody who listens to podcasts wants to join the program.
Yes.
And you're the best.
My favorite
people.
clients
Yeah.
are the people who listen to the podcast
Yeah.
because you believe that you already know us, because you do. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, and
I'm not an actress.
That's why we see such incredible transformation when we get to speak on you or be on Zoom. You are not an actress, that's for sure.
No.
But when you get to be in person, it's the bonus time that you have with us is even better than the learning, because you learn, and this is why we're seeing such crazy results from just this little event that we had. You learn with us, and then you watch us and our team who live and breathe our core values, our skills, our tools.
That's right.
And you watch all of us interacting.
See how real it is,
yes.
and then you start to do it too.
Yeah, you just latch on, and it's so fucking cool. We've seen it before, because after we moved to Texas, a lot of people come to visit us. But now, really witnessing it with our team also being examples, it was so fucking cool. And I want that for you guys. So February 13th, 14th, and 15th, let's change your Valentine's Day to be the first day of the rest of your life. All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.